All right, and we are live. Welcome, everybody, to an amazing freaking edition of the Georgia Tech Live Show, which we're usually going to be planning on doing on Sundays, but today, we talked about perhaps doing a live show collaboration with our boy Rec Talk and Bryce Koon, who will also be joining us. But for now, it's just me and your boy here. So how's it been going, man?
It's been going good, man. I've been keeping up with it all day. Doesn't seem like there was really any surprises. There were some kids not on my board that we signed. I think that Malcolm Pugh, Eric Singleton Jr. weren't really on my radar, but all the transfers signed, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No surprises, no flips. At least not in our, at least not any that flipped away from us, right?
No, there was some noise right before the show. I think there was a kid, someone in the chat might remember his name, that committed to Ole Miss, South Florida.
Mhm.
Was looking at him, think a 4-star receiver, but not to be.
Yeah, that is good. We're freaking stoked. Of course, we kind of had our signing day, quote unquote, the other day when we didn't have a bunch of players signed, but they committed, and so a lot of those players. It was like 2 days ago that like a flood of commitments happened for Georgia Tech that made up most of our class, and also a few decommitments, I think, of guys that the school might have pulled offers from, and it pretty much was just those players signing, coming on, and just signing up to freaking play for the Jackets today.
Yeah.
So not a lot of surprises, but there's still plenty to talk about, I think.
Well, I'm surprised we got Evan Dickens to sign because I'm pretty sure we pulled an offer from a cornerback out of IMG. We're still able to get. In fact, we've got some kind of interesting things going on at running back, right? We signed. Let's see, we got the transfer out of Louisville, Travion Cooley.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I liked because running back was on my list of things that we needed to look at, and we actually had a couple running backs commit, and then we had the one transfer. So now our running back room is looking pretty deep. We have a couple freshmen coming in, I believe, at least one. I know Evan Dickens, but didn't we also had another running back too, right?
He's the only one I see at the moment. But we got Smith coming back.
Yeah.
We've got two kids that'll be redshirt freshmen. I think Antonio Martin and the Felix kid.
So Jamie Felix actually burned his red shirt, so he'll be a true sophomore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why, but he played in 5 games, so I don't know. He chose to play in the Georgia games, so burned his red shirt in that. Very odd. But
so one will be a redshirt freshman, one will be a sophomore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Antonio Martin. Yeah, that's exciting. So yeah, we have running back room, and that was something that we really needed to shore up because that was a we need like weapons, and now I think we got the O-line kind of cooking. That's still going to be a slow rebuild. Brent Key has really attacked that and realized that it's an issue that needs to be fixed, and he's getting that shored up. And then, of course, we've got quarterback somewhat taken care of. Maybe we see one more like transfer or something. We had no quarterback this class commit.
No.
But
we got one for 2024, but not this class.
Yeah. So I don't know. How you feel about going into the season? I know we're kind of all over the place, but how you feel going into the season with 3 quarterbacks? You think we maybe take some kind of transfer for depth or something? Because I don't know. After last year, it feels like you can't be too sure,
Well, Haynes King, I mean, he's listed as running a 4.5 flat, so he's someone who's going, I would think, to be running a lot, and he's going to have to learn to slide. But I would feel more comfortable with probably another quarterback on the roster. But again, I don't know what our scholarship situation is. I should probably put that on my spreadsheet, just the entire roster and how many scholarships we have to give.
Yeah, I know we were running out because linebacker is another position that we got we stacked up on, but we were actually running out of spots for for linebackers. I think Sergio Allen from Clemson, we were looking at bringing him on, but we weren't going to be able to take them all because we did take the one from Texas A&M, and then we took a couple commits. We were getting kind of full.
So we got Andre White, who he's the only transfer I think that only has 1 year of eligibility left. Then we got the kid out of Minnesota, and then we signed Ashton Heflin. I think he's out of Marietta in their class.
And I know I'm all over the place, but I do want to take a look at the comment section here real quick and give a shout out to all our fine folks over there. We have Vince Wilkes, who is first. We have Cdogg, who is second. We have Nerdstop, Jolly V. Lape, Alex. That's right. He says, no way. Top 2 Georgia Tech news sources and Bryce Koon. Yeah, Bryce Koon should be here. He should be coming to jump in with us here hopefully soon. We're not going to do anything crazy tonight. We just wanted to jump on and talk about the signing day. I know he's doing his own show tonight too.
9:30.
But yeah, he should be joining us. And then we have AIP Dog, Rec Talk. Hey, Sven Kreuzberg, what's up? Yep. Luke Walker, can't wait for them to talk about Haynes King like he's a Heisman caliber quarterback. Well, now I reckon freaking have freaking Drake May, okay? He's a North Carolina fan.
Stay tuned, and I will do that. So,
look, man. I mean, Haynes King is not a Heisman caliber quarterback, but he's not a freaking Joe Blow. He's not a dang Jarrett Garantano, okay? Black Libertarian, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while. Rusty Hogan, what's up? Traveling Fools, yo. Paxton, I don't get the sunglasses in the dark. Well, you see, when you, I don't know. I have a really hard time, looking at the camera, so unless you wanted me to be, looking down here the whole time, I don't know. It probably is just better. It's probably just better.
Does make sense. It is kind of blinding, and then you can see the reflection in my glasses.
Yeah, I just have trouble looking, looking at the camera, because I just have trouble looking at the camera, so I wear the shades so I don't have to do that. And that freaking looks awesome too. So, I mean, these are my signature Georgia Tech glasses. You can't really see. It's got the logo on there. Yeah, there it is. I mean, if that's not the tightest shit you've seen, then get out of my face.
Yeah, it looks good.
Oh, there you go.
Man, I look good as hell.
Yeah.
All right, this was smart. This was the right call.
Move, man. You don't gotta look at the camera. You can look at anything else.
No one knows where I'm looking.
It's great.
Be looking over there.
Oh yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't let them know your next move, man. You can't let them know your next move. Jason Holder and Seminole Seth and Kevin Pinder. Thoughts on having co-OCs? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, first Vince Wilkes is asking me, is the Haynes King quarterback breakdown coming? It is. The tough part is there's not a wide cut that you'd want to see. So it's a lot of times I can't see what the defense alignment is, but I am working on it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, amazing content only to be provided by Rec Talk. Film breakdowns of Georgia Tech players. That's like a dream come true. I would love that content. I would love, because I'm not qualified to do that. I mean, I can freaking look about it looks like he sucks and he's pretty good. So I don't know. I mean, that's what I can. There's my analysis. That's about the extent of it. But
what's coming? I mean, I jumped up and down at the games this season because I'm like, man, they're straight cover zero manned up. Mm-hmm. Let's throw it to Jenkins. He's 5'11",
Right.
5,000 feet tall.
Yeah, Jenkins. Yeah, look, it is the man of the hour, Bryce Koon. Welcome.
How you guys doing?
Doing great, man. How about you?
Hey, did you like that little stuff I just threw out and just never materialized with that kid committing to Ole Miss? Was that fun for everyone?
Something cool's about to happen. Don't ask me about it again.
Bryce Koon is elite at teasing. Gets everybody excited.
I've got this guy in my Instagram DMs that is just saying "F you" over and over again.
Oh wow.
He's a Tech fan. Like he goes, "I hate you." And I was like, why? Like, why do you?
What
hate
did you do to this guy?
Man,
I don't even know him.
Man,
It's
Jeez.
wild.
You might
So
want
if
to
we
watch
want to
your
address
back.
that on tonight's show, we can.
Yeah. blast him.
absolutely. So,
Is
Bryce,
Hoops winning? By the way, I have no clue.
What's that?
I don't
Is
know.
Hoops winning? Okay, we're not paying attention to that. That's cool. I'm not either. So
I'm not.
We're on the same page then.
Bryce, I see you didn't get the memo. You're supposed to be wearing your Felice Bobby Dodd.
I don't have one.
and shades. You don't have one,
I
You're
don't
sponsored
have
by
a
it.
sir. That is
Yeah,
unacceptable.
Yeah, I know. I don't have one. Each time I've reached out to him, he's like, "Oh, I'm already out of stock," because those things do sell really fast.
They do, because it's the best article of clothing to ever exist.
And doesn't like Dr. Cabrera wear it too?
Yeah,
He does.
That's
I mean,
he
who
does.
wouldn't? This is iconic.
¿Cuál es tu problema?
This is iconic.
Oh
We're promoting them for free.
There you go.
We're doing it for free.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah, I
awesome.
am silly myself. Like, I will say anything for money.
Yeah.
Like, I'll drink Coke and Pepsi. I don't care.
Oh my gosh!
For
You just
sure.
reminded me of that meme, that Coca-Cola in a Pepsi glass.
Oh
What is
yeah,
it?
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
No difference.
Love it.
sure.
Love it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, sorry for the delay on that.
No, all good. We just kind of talked about the class a little bit. Kind of talked about running backs, how we kind of filled that position group out. Stacked up on linebacker. Talked a little bit about I think we were about to talk about an interesting tidbit from the presser today that Winky is going to be co-offensive coordinator.
Yes, that is true.
Which that's a move.
That is true.
I really like that move. It because being able to know your players and your roster, like and able to work towards their strengths, which is what Winky was able to do those last two games. Like that's invaluable. And I feel like a huge knock on a lot of coordinators aren't successful because they can't scheme around what their players are able to do. So I really I like the move.
Can I just say this?
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that we were I walked into a live show.
Oh, you did?
I thought you guys had waited for me, and so
No. We're absolutely live right now.
So
as we
now-
speak.
so now I have these people DMing me like, "Dude, you're just talking so casual," and I was like, "Oh, sorry. Here we go." No, so I had no clue, no idea. But no, I guess we're good
man.
now. I guess we're good.
I didn't
Let's
mean
roll,
to
yeah.
ambush you, man. I didn't mean
Man,
I
that
should've
could
known
have gone horribly.
That really could have gone bad. Really could have gone bad.
Wow.
Hey, I like casual Bryce. Look, you're hanging out with
I'm just thinking about the things I was thinking about saying during, because I thought we were just
That's what I'm
shooting the
saying.
breeze,
Oh,
and I was like, "Oh, we're all right." I was like, "He's gonna hit the live button anytime now," and then I look over and I'm like, "Oh man, we're live right now! Fantastic!"
Oh,
Oh
Jesus.
man, you get to get all the people in the comment section get a
The
a look at the
unfiltered
dark side of Bryce.
Bryce
peek
after
behind
dark.
the curtain, if you will.
Yeah, no, it's different. It's
No,
different. for sure.
I like casual. I like casual Bryce. We're chill here. It's the Cdogg channel. We're a couple fans, right? So
I was asking a Twitter group whether I should keep my crystal ball in prediction for the wide receiver from Kennesaw. Like I was
would.
like, "Hey, you want me to keep it in? Fan interaction. You want
Yeah.
it in? I'll keep it in."
Love
and
it.
then I immediately deleted it as soon as he made the announcement. So I'm not going to get penalized for it.
there you go.
Smart.
So, anyways, carry on with the show. I'm apologize. I sabotaged it.
All good.
Well, now
All
tell
good,
us
man.
what you think, Bryce, of this class. I mean, we signed a ton of kids. What do you think?
I threw. Oh, I think both of you responded to it. Threw it in the Discord. I don't think that there's any movers and shakers per se in this class. Like, there's not a guy that's like, holy cow, that's an NFL player, no doubt about it. But that's what did we expect? Like, Key was hired. It feels like it's been a year, but it's been what, like 2 weeks? 2 weeks since he's been hired.
Officially,
Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, so, I think the fact that he was able to keep the core members and guys that he really wanted and add some pieces. Like, I will say this, I'm most impressed with the wide receiver additions. Like, that's what I'm excited about because if Nate McCollum, who knows what's going on with that. I mean, he's visited North Carolina. He's probably going to go there maybe. If he's gone, like, to me, they've done more than enough to at least have the bodies and the talent to reciprocate that's not the right word, to duplicate what he was able to do last year. And Malik Rutherford's a guy that I think with opportunity can do what he did. So all that to say is I think the class is pretty solid. To me, like the players I'm most excited about, the two kids from North Cobb. I think Gabriel Fortson is going to be a really good center. Like I like him, and I know the staff really likes him. He's the highest rated guy on 24/7. And then Jacob Cruz. Cruz is a really, really good athlete, and to me, he's a guy that could play that money linebacker position like Charlie Thomas did, but probably put on more weight. And if there was, and look, I'm being very critical here. If there's anything you would knock Charlie Thomas for, it was the fact that he just could not put on any more weight. Mm-hmm. Like that's just what he couldn't do. If the kid was 225, 230, he's maybe a second round pick. Mm-hmm. Really, he might be just with his production, what he's been able to do. So I like the class. I think that it's solid for what they were able to do. And then, we were talking the other night about the transfer portal class. Like, I think it's solid. Once again, I don't think that there's anybody – who knows? Like, I know, Cdogg, you were talking about, do I think they could be like where Ace Ely was? I don't know. Like, Ace was really good this past year. He was really good this past year.
Or even Kyrick McGowan, he had some good production. I think he was our best receiver last year. And
he was. And if it's better quarterback play, which I think it will be, then you could see a guy like Chase Lane really take off, which would be exciting to watch. I think that the linebacker additions are probably the most solid because those guys are going to have to play. Haynes King, is he going to beat out a healthy Zach Pyron? I don't know. But did y'all notice when Brent Key said today that they're trying to get away from having so many different quarterbacks with two different styles?
Yes.
Like now you have two guys that have similar styles.
Yeah.
I would say King is probably a better runner, pure runner than Pyron is, but guys that you don't have to completely overhaul the playbook in a week but to get them ready.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what impressed me too is that they overhauled the playbook and were actually able to pull it off, and and get some actual production out of them. But which is why I like the Winky at OC because he was able to do that. I think one of Brent Key's most impressive qualities was how he did all that stuff on the fly. But yeah, I was asking Rec Talk earlier about how we feel about going into the season with three quarterbacks, or do we maybe look at adding another either commit or transfer for depth reasons? Because after last year, I don't know. Gets me kind of nervous,
It does make me nervous. I think where Key joked today, like, what did he say? He said, like, we were this close to having to put Chris Winkie in at some point. Like, he joked about that.
Have you noticed his jokes fall flat? Like, he delivers them, like, really seriously, and he scans the entire room afterward a little bit. And people are terrified, like, I don't know to laugh or run or what. But.
At his opening press conference, he made some joke. Oh, gosh, what was it about? Oh, his high school coaches came to the opening press conference. Really cool, like the guys that coached him. And he made a joke somewhere in that you'd have to scroll the hour-long video to find it. But he made some joke like that, like, they're Auburn fans, but they were, we'll get them to be Tech fans. And
he said, we're going to fix that real quick.
Real quick. And we're like, okay, are you going to hurt them? Like, are you okay? Yes, I definitely see that. But to answer your question or kind of go off what you're saying earlier with the quarterback situation, I see them pulling a guy after spring practice. Mm-hmm. Because, look, there's so much stuff going on right now. When you remember, we're going to see a whole nother process of this, like after some roles have been kind of identified of what they want to do. And so I don't know. I don't know if there's a high school guy like that Sellers kid. Did he end up signing with South Carolina? Did he? The kid, the 4-star that Tech offered last night.
Right. I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen what he wound up doing.
Yes, I think He may have. But anyways,
LaNorris?
that was kind of a long shot. LaNorris. Did I just call him Norris? What did I say?
You said Sellers?
Is his
No,
name
he
Lenoir
didn't
Sellers?
say his first name. You were correct, Bryce.
Yeah.
Don't let me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his
convince
last
you were
name.
wrong.
Sellers, yeah.
Yeah, so with him, I think that was kind of like a last ditch effort. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they're going to find another portal. But I think you're going to roll into the season, at least spring practice, with King and Byron. And I think I said this last week. I feel better about Zach Gibson knowing that Winky game planned for him, and I have more confidence in Buster Faulkner than I do Chip Long. I just do. Like I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Yeah,
I do. I think they're in a. Ever since what do we call it, the transition, the big transition. This is probably the best the quarterback room's ever been, just from a talent standpoint and feeling good. If you have to go back there, if you have to, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully we don't have to. Hopefully we could just go through the full season with the starting quarterback. That would be really nice to get to do that for 1 year.
We haven't in the past 2 years.
Bryce, there was some talk about you walking on. I had seen in the Discord.
Yeah. I played single A private school football here in Georgia. So I
So
don't know,
did
are you guys from Georgia?
Vandergrift.
Yeah, I'm from Georgia.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so here's a story real quick. I don't know. See, the best thing about YouTube Live is that where there's no programming after us. This is not syndicated TV or radio. We can just talk forever.
Yeah.
We got a hard cut.
Yeah, we got a hard cut. We have no commercials. It's just whatever. So all that to say is I played against Prince Avenue in the playoffs. Brock was not there because Brock's way younger than I am. But they beat us. I went in the locker room down 45-0 at halftime. So it's a good program, really good program that produces some good talent. But no, look, I couldn't walk on. I was a pulling guard on a single A team.
Oh wow.
So
I was thinking for a quarterback, like.
Oh well,
I would work with you.
I was pretty good in intramurals. Intramural football. I was a pretty decent player.
I played.
And you're used to running around with Tech's offensive line. So I'm already used to having to run around, evade pressure.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I went to North Cobb.
You're appointed.
And so it's kind of funny to see us getting commits from there. That Ben Galloway from Hillgrove, the offensive line recruit.
Yeah.
My brother knows him. He goes there. My brother's 17.
How old are you, Cdogg?
I'm 25.
Same. Okay.
Yeah, we're the same age. Yeah.
That's right.
And my brother's 17 and he goes to Hillgrove and they call him Big Ben. So pretty funny that they know each other.
Hey, I got to shout out a guy in the chat, Andrew Scheibel. He's a big Tech fan. I think he still lives in. I don't know where he lives right now, but he and I went to Berry College together, and he's a great guy. So
awesome.
I couldn't have walked on at D3 Berry College. So let's don't even kid ourselves.
Hey, one of my favorite coaches of all time when I played was a guy from Berry College. So shout out to Berry.
There you go. And look, there's gonna be someone that hops in here and goes, "Well, Bryce is a Georgia fan." My wife went to school there. Let's just clear the air right now. Wife went to school there. Young Bryce was a Georgia fan, but in the business, you just do what you have to do. Also, if you don't think that I'm passionate about Georgia Tech, if you don't go look at the baseball call I had of the opening weekend walk-off on the radio, and you think that guy's just a diehard Georgia fan? Come on. Do your research.
Not the case. I mean,
that guy that keeps blasting me on Instagram. How about you go back a couple pages and look at that?
We're getting them on our side. Don't worry about it.
We got it. No worries.
Oh, you did a baseball call. I didn't know. I think I had seen you mention doing that, which is cool. That's cool that you do that. I wonder, will you ever stream a game? Will you ever stream a football game?
That would be hilarious.
That would be.
That would be hilarious.
I get pretty worked up and excited during the games.
That would be hilarious.
Makes for good
I would love to see that. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
But I'd have to agree with you, Bryce. Like I didn't have much expectation for the recruiting class. Like 57 doesn't feel necessarily great, but I think we did as much as we could from where we were a few months ago. Right.
What I like is that he's going, and what I think is huge and is really a good sign for me is what he's doing with the offensive line and how he realizes, like, that's our biggest problem. He's getting his guys and the size.
5 kids.
What's that?
5 recruits we signed offensive line.
Yeah. So I like that. And, like, that's, like, the first position that he started recruiting when he really started picking up recruiting, hiring Buster Faulkner and Jeep Wade. That was his first hire, was Jeep Wade, and then he really started hitting that hard and getting the commits, getting the size on the line. I like that. I like that he was doing that because I'm tired of watching bad offensive line play, and it's really holding us back. So it's promising sign to me that that's what he's really hit hard.
Yeah, and I want to ask y'all this because it felt like early on in the Jeff Collins, I know that's blasphemous to say those two words together.
Yeah.
But in the what is that one? There's a one Twitter account that's called Goof Collins that just goes off on him. It goes off on me constantly. But anyways,
yeah, we need to beep that name out. That beep, like people used to do with Bill Lewis. Yeah, he's got a successor.
That's hilarious. But with
like
that,
Baltimore.
I mean,
Yep.
Love that. Absolutely love that. I think when you go back to that, the previous coach, when you go back to Collins, it kind of always felt like they were building from outside. Mm-hmm. And what I mean is like the wide receiver room had some good talent.
Yeah.
Running back room. I mean, the running back room was stacked with talent recruiting-wise. But they never had the offensive line. I feel like Key was like, look, before we add anything else, we have to get so many bodies on the offensive line that almost, Rick, talk to your point, it was like it's no one – like there's not one offensive lineman that you want to write home about and say this kid is an All-American. But it's like if we have so many – if we just put so many 3 or 4 3-stars out there, at some point we're going to find 5 that work.
Yeah.
Like that's just how I feel like he's attacking the thing is, look, we'll worry about skill position. We'll develop those guys. We'll worry about that in the next class. Because like if they can just show a semblance of an offense, if they average – someone put in the Discord like 20 – if they average 24 points a game next year, like I'm happy. I don't know about you. Like I'm happy. That's a touchdown more. You probably get to a bowl game, 24, 25 points a game. You feel good about that. Then – those skill guys say, okay, I'm going to go there and I'm not going to get killed.
Yeah.
Like, I can put up numbers.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. But I just felt like during the
agree.
Collins era, it was just always like skill talent.
Yeah.
They never really did anything with the offensive line.
Which is exciting. The skill talent is exciting. And I feel like a lot of people, which it kind of makes sense, this recruiting class is ranked, it's ranked pretty low. I think I read somewhere that it's like a 5-year low. As far as recruiting goes for Georgia Tech, which does suck. But if there is something to look forward to, I think that it is indicative of what he was saying in his introductory press conference about fundamental football and having the foundation and stuff like that. So that kind of it makes sense to me that's what he's
I'll
doing.
also say this. I know this about the 24/7 Sports like ranking algorithm, which whatever, they don't rank offensive linemen really high.
Right.
Like your 4 and 5 stars are like those are like NFL talent guys.
Yeah.
Like, so I think that's the interesting thing to know is that you're going to have a ton of 3-star offensive linemen. Mm-hmm. So really, if that's what the majority of your class is, which I think they're really heavy in the lineman category, it's not going to elevate your number. So it's one of those things that from the algorithm, that's why I'm not too worried about it. Like if you went and rated all this like accurately, they'd probably be in the 40s. Like I think 40s is like more realistic of where this class is than 57. It's just because they have a ton of offensive linemen, which you develop 1 or 2 of those guys, and now you have a starting 5 that you kind of feel good about.
Right, I completely agree.
Where I learned that was the case, Bryce, was from NCAA 14. You could never sign a 5-star lineman, could you?
No, they don't exist. I still play the revamped version. I'm just trying to figure out how to stream it off of my PlayStation 3 with a capture card. Yeah. If anyone has any tips or tricks about that or wants to put a YouTube video down low. But the revamped version with tech is a lot of fun.
It's legit. Yeah, because without revamp, Paul Johnson's there, and the triple option is way overpowered, and he never gets fired. So you can't.
It's like Georgia Tech and Navy in the national championship, and it's like, what's going on
That's
here?
awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how it should be.
That's true. I will say this though, NCAA 14, the revamped crew. Shout out to them. I know they're not watching tonight, but if this ever comes across anywhere. They went and changed Brent Key mid-season, like as the head coach.
Oh,
so when you started a dynasty. Like I started a dynasty like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they had Brent Key as the head coach.
Wow!
I was like, all right, I feel
that's
legit.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
That's they're on top of it over there, so they do a good job.
That is awesome. I bet I could have made a bowl game with our roster last year. Not this past year, but last year where we went 3-9. I bet I could probably beat Northern Illinois.
I'll tell you this: it is hard to be that bad in NCAA 14, even on Heisman with Georgia Tech. Like, it's really hard. Like, I've tried to make it as realistic as possible, and I still can't win only 3 games.
I think there might be a little tournament in our future, and we'll see who is the NCAA 14 king.
You know, I was very disturbed
and why it's me
to hear when they delayed the new one that was coming to
2024, dude.
Yeah.
But see, I don't like. I'll play Madden, but the new Madden is not as fun as NCAA 14.
Yeah,
like
Madden's
the
garbage.
game engine, and so I'm telling you, we're all gonna be pumped, the graphics, all this stuff. But when we start to play the game, it's not gonna be. We're gonna be like, it's just. I thought it's gonna be a lot left to be desired.
I hope not. I hope that they somehow surprise me, but I also, at the same time, I don't have any faith in EA. They're just a crappy game manufacturer.
It's going to be Ultimate Team. That's what they're going to focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's another subject. But
yeah,
we really got off. That was wild.
yeah, sorry, that was on me. But a guy I was really excited about, Bryce, was Jamarius Haynes, which didn't end up working out. I watched.
Yeah, it's
film
another
on
Miss
him.
Crystal Ball by yours truly, right there. Gosh,
Well, that
I was
wasn't
on
why.
fire today.
That wasn't why I brought it up. Do you have any scoop on what happened there?
Yeah, no. So kind of what happened, and I'm retweeting this so people can see. I was talking with someone, so friends with over at our Clemson site, and they felt strongly about him. I mean, Tech was definitely in it. Like, that's the question. It's just a late push by Clemson, and then, the NIL stuff. So, I mean, that's going to come into play, especially with a school like Clemson, who if they really do, if Clemson, this is my fear, okay? And here comes Doomsday Bryce, the Discord loves Doomsday Bryce. My fear is with a situation like Haynes is if a school like Clemson starts to really get involved in the portal and NIL, they're gonna do some damage. Like, I don't know if you guys have been up to that campus. It's really unreal, the facilities they have.
It is.
Like, I mean it from a sense of like the money they put in. So they have the money. If they decide if Dabo like gets off his weird shtick about stuff and like decides to like do these things, that's scary. But that's kind of where I went with Haynes, is just an NIL opportunity. And if you want to be mad, be more mad at the schools, be more mad at the NCAA. Don't be mad at the kid. Which of us here would not take that? Like, seriously.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Also, it's not like he's going to a school in the middle of nowhere. He's going to Clemson, which is like a cool place to be. South Carolina's not far from where he's from, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Have you seen their stadium? It is incredible.
Unbelievable.
Just from the parking lot view of it, it's really amazing. And
a night game there, I've heard, is unbelievable.
Yeah,
too.
I've been saying like we should have something like that, because like we're an engineering school. We should engineer something like a cool freaking stadium.
Well,
I don't know.
Look, Paul Johnson brought this up while he was the coach at Tech, and he actually had to apologize for it later. I think he's like, well, look at what they have and look at what we have.
Yeah.
Where would you want to go play football?
Right.
And he was trying to like solicit some more support, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But anyways, Haynes was a talented guy that I wish they could have had. But I do feel good. I love Evan Dickens. I think that we were talking about this in the Discord and in a Twitter group. I really do think Dickens is a guy that is not properly rated. Look, I'm wearing the thing right here, but what you have to understand is if the evaluators don't watch these kids, they're going to slap a 3-star on them and send them on their way.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's going to happen. I think Dickens is a really good running back. So, and also I feel good about the running back room. You have 2 guys that played last year. You got the transfer from Louisville, who I think is a solid player as well.
Yeah.
I mean, not more opportunity. And then Antonio Martin Jr. is talented. He just didn't really see the field. He battled an injury, and then never really – Felix kind of passed him. And then you had this kid. I think it's
I like it.
I do hate we missed out on Cam Wallace, though. I hate we missed out on Cam Wallace. But
Terrence
it is
Love
what it
was
is.
also another one I was looking at.
We thought we were going to break the news tonight, know?
Yeah.
That's what we thought on this show. We were excited about it.
I know. That's what we were talking about, too. Man.
But when you look at that defensive back room, if and what I'm led to believe everyone's coming back, there's not a lot of spots.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and if a kid wants to play right away, like Lamiles Brooks is going to start next year, Clayton Powell-Lee is going to start next year. That's a stud safety duo right there.
Yeah.
Also a
really good safety
3-star,
duo.
right? Like, just because someone has a 3-star on their name doesn't mean they don't ball out.
Nate
right?
McCollum
Exactly.
was a 3-star.
Clayton Powell-Lee
Right.
was a 3-star, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right.
And he started over the other freshman that we brought in last year that was a 4-star.
And Derek Allen, who had been here.
So,
Who went to the
it's
cheater
yeah.
school.
I like someone in the Discord said, do these players not know that Georgia Tech is North Carolina's father?
That's what I'm saying too, man. You're gonna go there to get beat by us again, man. I don't know.
So Rec Talk, I took it off the rails again. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
No,
I'm assuming
right.
that they're offering McCollum an NIL deal because that was what he was looking for leaving, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Here goes freaking Mac Brown.
Can you shed some light on that too, Bryce? I'm not clear on what those rules are. Like, can I just go write a kid a check? Is there some process I have to go through, or how does this work?
So without going into a 20-minute spiel, the problem is that there was never any grassroots decision on that right there. Like there was never this is the protocol per se. This is how you do this. So I think in the beginning it was just like it was literally people just me and you writing Nate McCollum a check. Mm-hmm. You send 800, I send 800, not 1,000. We don't have that. $800 maybe. I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
I don't have that.
50. Hey. $50. Spare an extra $50. But I think that's what it started out as. Now you see these collectives, which I think is just like a fancy way of saying this is actually what we're doing.
Right.
So it's technically the collectives that are paying. But I mean, to your point, I genuinely think that, and from the tech stuff that's come out, I mean, they're asking fans to support it. Now the collective is like the umbrella, let's say umbrella company of all the people donating.
That's like the official way to do it.
Yeah. I think that's the official way, but I think they had to establish something because when they released NIL, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything more poorly mismanaged.
Right.
Like they were just like, all right, here we go. Yeah, it's going to
go
well.
The NCAA is a joke. Yeah, all of a sudden it was
so
legal.
bad.
Well, they won't regulate it. They haven't regulated things in the past that needed to be regulated.
It's bad. You have to ask yourself, at what point do the power conferences just say, and really, I hate to say this, but the SEC and the Big Ten, who are definitely have a stranglehold on all the money and media rights, just say, we're going to do our own thing. Yeah. And we're going to poach really good programs from other lesser conferences and see what happens. So I don't know. It's interesting. But to your question, I think that you just give money to a collective, and then the governing body of that collective represents every fan that donates the money.
Okay. I'll be reaching out soon.
Georgia Tech should go to the Big Ten. That would be slam dunk right there. They make a lot of money in the Big Ten.
It would be interesting. They do make a bunch.
They do.
Money.
I wouldn't like playing North teams. That would be lame. But the money that we would make, which money is one of our biggest issues, I think that would be great.
Well, I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to challenge. It's going to challenge the fan base, but the one thing that would worry me about that is you would have to see fan support, and I think I don't know how Tech would travel. Mm-hmm. Like, how would you travel to Rutgers?
Right.
How would you travel to Minnesota? I mean, yeah, everyone would love. I mean, look, everyone would love to go to see Tech play Ohio State. Like, that'd be cool. Never been to a game there. I imagine a lot of Tech fans haven't been, but I just worry about the travel because Tech fans don't even travel.
To their own
fans
stadium.
Don't travel. Yeah, well, I'm thankful. I'm glad you said it because if I said it, I'd have been.
It's the most shameful thing that I am. I mean, every other year when Georgia, comes to the stadium and it's a sea of red, it just disgusts me, and that's something that we need to get fixed. And
last year was bad.
Yeah, and
last year was awful.
It was like 95% red.
Right. Yeah. I go and I try to fight it, but there's just only so much.
Well, you'll literally have to fight. Like you'll have to get in a fist fight.
It's bad. So hopefully we can get that fit. The more we start winning. But
well, I think if you win, people are gonna come, man. Like, and they're gonna support it. And look, if we make a bowl next year, Rec Talk Army, I'll pay for you to go, and it won't make a dent. All right,
Rec Talk Army, I love it. I love it. No, and you are exactly right. Also, I'm glad that you named your thing Rec Talk because I was about to rebrand mine to the Rec Report. So now that you've got kind of ownership of that.
I thought you were mad at me. I never saw your show before I named it, and I was like, "That's really similar." And I hope he doesn't think that I
look as a person who publicly is known for stealing content. Whatever. It's
I didn't know that.
No, it's a running joke that is ridiculous. But
accusations or whatever.
To your point about the bowl game and everything, look. Kind of circling full circle here back with the roster. I think the guys that are going to make up what you need to do in your roster are already there.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how I feel. Yeah. These guys are more auxiliary pieces that you can plug in. Did y'all see Sergio Allen committed to California?
I did not see that.
The transfer
No.
linebacker from Clemson that visited Tech?
We
Went to
mentioned
California.
him. Yeah, we mentioned him, but we were also talking about how we did have a couple of DBs in the, we had a couple commits, and then we had a transfer too. So I was talking about how maybe we were kind of getting full, a little too crowded.
Yeah, do you know how many scholarships we have to play with?
We crunched some numbers, and I mean that facetiously. We actually did look at this. I think it's like at 70-something, 70. Okay, well, that was before signing day.
So we got like
signing
5 or
day,
less.
We probably have like 5 or less spots.
Mm-hmm.
But see, this is the thing too, okay? And there's, there were some players that were waiting to enter the portal to see if they wanted to enter the portal because no OC had been hired until, Faulkner has been now. And I imagine that wide receiver room with the 3 guys brought in that are, maybe challenged for some playing time. I don't know. A guy like DJ Moore that I think makes a really big step next year. Maybe there's guys that say, you know what, I need to go somewhere else. Because, I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens because there's been so much news combined with this past weekend of like just this, everyone's been drinking from a fire hose, consuming Georgia Tech stuff. And it's almost been like, okay, let's just sit back and wait till like after Christmas. Because like this portal season is still wide open. There's still a lot to go on and kind of happen. And I think we'll see kind of what happens, after the new year.
Yeah, I hope not. I was really happy about how Portal Day came and we only had, Jeff Sims leave and everything like that, and a couple backups.
Well, Sims and McCollum are the ones that hurt, but they're other than those two, there weren't ones that you're really like, man, that's devastating.
Which I'm still holding. I still got a scrap of me holding out hope for McCollum. He still hasn't committed anywhere, but sheesh, I don't know.
What is the deal with the disdain for Jeff Sims?
Listen,
I don't get it. People have called me an idiot time and time again in the comment sections. Like, I ask them to name what defense that he's facing. They can't do it. So, I think he's a kid that was victim of some bad coaching. He wasn't developed very well. He has a ton of talent. And we're going to see at Nebraska who's really the idiot, I guess.
Look, Bryce, I was actually frustrated towards Jeff Sims before you had kind of cleared up the reason of him leaving for me in this situation because I thought that he was a lot of people I think still think he's a quitter. And that he one of the silent quitters that just doesn't come on the team but once you told me kind of what the staff was doing in that situation and cleared that up for me, I was like, oh, that is much more understandable. So I think,
for people who
that's it.
don't know, I mean, kind of in a nutshell, it was one of those things where he was not medically able to play.
Yeah.
They made him dress out and they came to him and it painted him in this picture, in this light, that he looked bad. And I think that, it's one of those things where, look, as a young man in today's day and age, if he has a dream to play in the NFL, I'm not putting my body out there on the line. Yeah. Like I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I have to have my best interest. You have to. And see, the people who are mad about this is going to be pretty vocal. So let's buckle up. Everyone strap in for this one. The people who are mad about this are the same people who sit there and tell me, well, so and so back in 1990 would have played. Okay, well, it's not 1990. And I'll say this. Now, look, people can say, oh, he's a Georgia fan. You can't keep making comments about 1990 and talk about how it's relevant when you made fun of your rival fan base for talking about a national championship 10 years prior. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't have it both ways. So all that to say is college football's different now. And so, the disdain for Jeff Sims, I hope the kid does well. Like, he's a good kid, like you said, Reg Talk, really talented. It's just one of those things he just hasn't been able to put it together. Bad coaching and horrible offensive lines. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Not talking anything personal about any of the kids that were on the offensive line, but there were just guys out there, and I've been saying this for 2 years, that should not have been on a Power 5 starting offensive line. They just shouldn't have been. So do that what you will. That's an interesting tidbit.
Well,
that has nothing to do with the recruiting class in 2023, but yeah.
It doesn't, but if you think teams won't do you wrong, ask Calvin Johnson how the Lions treated him. It's your livelihood, and I would protect it, as well.
Yeah, and what you were saying a second ago, Bryce. The people like on the Facebook groups drive me crazy with the callbacks to
triple option.
And I'm like, geez, okay.
Hire Jeff Monken.
It is different now. It is different. Well, triple option lovers are one thing. I've argued with the same guy for like 2 years in my comment section that claims we will never be successful. without the triple option. But
I think he
What?
sits in my comment section too. I think he's the
Gooser,
same person.
is it Gooser?
I think so.
Yeah,
I
just
think
go ahead
so.
and call him out.
Yeah, I mean,
Gooser, you know who you are, Gooser.
Gooser,
Leave
we're
me
talking to
alone
you.
about the triple option. We're not running it no more.
Yeah. Gooser, I'm talking right to you. The thing is, when you run the triple option, are you ever going to talk to a talented quarterback? No. You automatically limit who you can recruit to when you're at a school that's already limited as to who they can recruit to due to their academics.
Yeah.
That's
but
why
I was told that Justin Thomas should have won the Heisman Trophy there, Rec Talk. That's what I was told.
Look, and a lot of people use
Talented kid though. Keep going.
Justin Thomas was awesome, but
He was great.
A lot of people.
My favorite's Reggie Ball. I like Reggie Ball.
Yeah, he's a man.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
So a lot of people have used the Jeff Collins thing to kind of use that as some kind of proof, like that we can't be successful without running the triple option, that we can never recruit, never be competitive, and it's just it is what it is. It was a botched hire coming off of the triple option. Got sold a bill of goods, so I mean it is what it is. But we're getting this thing turned around.
And I think that we have to understand that this 2023 class, after Collins was fired, was never going to be, and to kind of bring it back, it was never really going to be this world-changing class.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now, I will say this. If they go to a bowl game next year, and I think I talked with you guys about this the other day, the 2024 class can be something to watch. You already have a 4-star quarterback committed, so there is your, we always talk about quarterbacks being the recruiter for the rest of the class. Right. And who knows? I mean, look, there's going to be a lot of kids that take notice if they win 6 games and win a bowl game. I mean, I don't know what the lowest level bowl game for an ACC team is. I don't know what the order is, but it doesn't matter. I know Wake Forest plays Missouri tomorrow or something like that, or Friday. So if that's the first ACC team that's played a bowl game, if you go and beat an SEC opponent in a bowl game next year, I mean, I'm not saying that you're going to have the number 6 class in the country, but you probably don't have the number 57. I mean,
right? Yeah.
And I ask you this: what is a realistic number for you? Like, what do you think the ceiling for a Georgia Tech?
Well, Jeff,
where should they sit?
Well, look, going into the 2021 season and throughout the 2021 season, Jeff Collins had a top 25 class lined up that entire year. We were in the top 25 all year until he went 3-9 that year. And we were in the fringe, like we were 26 or 25 or something like that. Then they all decommitted because everything flew off the rails. If we had made a bowl game that year, like we should have, the roster that we had, we could have had a top 25 class. And there's
is it
no
safe to
telling
say if those kids would have stayed committed and they would have made a bowl game, that Tech would have gone to the ACC title this year? I think so. In a weak Coastal, because they almost did it already.
If you can go on the road and beat Pitt and go on the road and beat North Carolina, I mean, I don't think that's unreasonable.
We beat the 3 best teams in the Coastal: Duke, North Carolina, and Pitt. And then we lost to 2 of the worst, Miami and Virginia. If we had took care of business on Miami and Virginia, we would have been the ACC title.
The ACC's down. But, I mean, as far as Tech's concerned, I mean, it's laid out to compete for the ACC. If we can do what we did after Key took over, beat these 9-win teams, we can compete in it next year. I mean, to your question, me and Cdogg talked about it. I think the floor is 3-9 again. I think that could happen if a lot of things go wrong. Ceiling for me is probably 8-4.
I like that. I really do like that. I like the fact that you're real in the sense of it too, because look, a lot of things can happen in the season. I mean, when I say worst case scenario, people think, well, that's what you think is going to happen. No, I said worst case. Did you listen to what I said? Like, I said worst case scenario. Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario. I mean, because the South Carolina State game is not like officially official, but like I think it's in there, that FCS game for next year. I mean, this team, I think the best case scenario, 8-4, which I will say this, and I need to go back and look, but I had some people get mad at me when I said it right before the season started. I thought this past year, to me, the ceiling was like 6-6, 7-5. The floor was like 4-8, which was like obviously right in the middle. So I mean, I think 8-4 is doable. A lot of things have to go right, and to your credit, and people who watch this and listen to this, he's not saying that they're going to go 8-4 or they're going to go 3-9. that just feels like that's the highest they could go and that's the lowest they could go. Which I mean, shoot, if they go 8-4 and win a bowl game, win 9 games, Key might win ACC Coach of the Year. Seriously, I mean,
he might win Coach of the Year if he wins 9 games. I mean, I'm dead serious.
Yeah. That's
sure.
true. Unless someone has like a Sonny Dykes type year,
I
takes
tend
us
to
to the
think our floor is
playoffs.
a bit higher than 3-9 going into the next year. Maybe closer to 5.
It's just a familiar number to me, so I threw it in
I think
there.
4 or 5 wins would be. I mean, that would be bad, but.
Well, I'm also thinking if other teams step up in a big way,
Right.
that haven't
Duke.
before.
Well, we don't play
Louisville?
Duke. That's the thing. The ACC is now taking away divisions, so this was the last year of Coastal and Atlantic. So now we're next year we're going to be playing Syracuse, Boston College, and Louisville, some unfamiliar kind of opponents.
Louisville makes me nervous
It does too,
because
yeah,
I don't think that they're bad. I think Brahms is solid. Like I don't think that they really downgraded.
They
their head
upgraded
coach.
for straight up.
me,
Jeff Brom is
yeah.
better than Satterfield. I don't know what Cincinnati was thinking hiring him, but they definitely.
weird.
I think that was a definite upgrade. Jeff Brom is a good coach.
Yeah, all that to say is, you're exactly right in the sense of, look, what we think here on December 21st, teams are going to look way different.
Yeah.
They're going to look different from July to August, certain things. So, I mean, I think Tech has got a good roster. They have talent. And I think they finally have a guy. This is my thing. I think they finally have a guy that can get the talent out of the players. For whatever reason, Collins could not. But my thing is how do you develop them? Like, how do we make this feel-good story over the past 2 or 3 months result in the next 5 years of success?
Yeah.
Because if you thought that Key was going to be the guy, he's got to be the guy that carries you, like, as every fan would want, every administrator, be the guy that carries you in recruiting and establish the program for. I mean, who would want to see Brent Key retire, the head coach at Georgia Tech?
Yeah,
15 years from now.
That
You know what I'm
would
saying?
be awesome.
That's the dream. That's what every program wants. It doesn't happen a lot. So all that to say is, I think that with if they can go win 7-8 games next year, the recruiting class next year is going to be pretty fun to watch and monitor as the season goes on.
I agree for sure. I agree.
Yeah, and I think, just sustained success. Let Clayton Powell-Lee go high in the draft. Brooks go higher in the draft. Let Haynes King be the first Georgia Tech quarterback that gets drafted since I don't know when. Like, then you can start selling these things, man. We develop players, and they're playing in the NFL. I mean, look at Darren Waller.
That's
and
my
some of these
man
other
right there.
kids.
He went to North Cobb too. Go Warriors.
I like it.
I love it. So we're getting towards the end of the hour here. Bryce, we super appreciate you coming on, man. It's been great. And
Are we running out of time?
Well, I mean,
Well, we know you're at 9:30. You've got a show.
You know
right?
what though? The fact is, I don't even think I'm going to do tonight. Like, I think I'm just going to go I might not do tonight. I might go tomorrow. What you guys think?
okay.
I don't know.
I can't make this
didn't
choice
wanna-
for you, Bryce.
You can do whatever you want. I'm asking you. I don't care.
I'll sit here and talk to you guys all night, but I didn't know if you had to go. Or, Bryce, I know you're a very important and busy man, so I didn't know if we wanted to freaking hang on to you or not. Well, that's fine.
Let me just change the live stream time, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll
Or
push
just
that
take it
can
off.
down. We'll kick the can down the road on that one.
You've called some
Freaking-
audibles already today, so it's all good.
I've made whatever kind of crystal ball picks just for the heck of it, and said whatever.
Yeah, this is the spot to be right here tonight.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exciting.
On signing day. Well, do we have another topip then in that case?
Well, let me ask you
We
this.
got to have
Is-
something to talk about.
yeah.
Is there any kid, like for me, I really like, what is his name? Hold on. Shamik Jones, I'm actually kind of excited about. Is there anyone that pops off this list to you of like, man, I think he might be really good?
Let me pull this up and let's see. Because, I mentioned earlier I really like Jacob Cruz.
Right.
But that's been a guy that's kind of been in the fold for a while. And so we've, had a lot of conversation about him.
What about Eric Singleton Jr.? I watched some tape on him. Very explosive player, I think, that might have also been overlooked by some people.
Yeah, I like him. I like Singleton. I think it was really big for Tech to hold on to Zion Taylor. Like, going back to where we kind of started the show off with was, it's one of those things that, you look at Dobson, Singleton, and Taylor. Like those are 3 guys that could make up the core of your starting wide receivers in the next 2 years.
A lot of speed there.
A lot of speed. And then kind of going to the other side, an interesting guy to watch is going to be Nakari Ashley, the kid from Marietta. He's
2-star kid,
6'3". Right? Yeah. 6'3", 200 pounds. Just like a tweener, like a guy that you don't really know where he fits. He played a little bit of tight end at Marietta. He also played outside linebacker. But that's another kid that if you can put 20 pounds on him, and if he can be 6'3", 220, that's a lot of fun. And then the last one that I got on that is I'll say this on y'all's show. I'm not going to say this on mine, but is it politically correct to call someone a freak? Can we say that?
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
Okay. Because I know some people get butthurt about that, but my freak of the class is Ezra Odinjor. I think that kid is already physically almost there. He's 6'4", 220. I mean, you think if he can get any better and any bigger, holy cow! Like that's your pass rusher to me.
Yeah.
That's a kid that can come in and do some things. And I'm just ready to see one of these freshmen. We had Clayton Powell-Lee last year, but he's been a one-off, in my opinion, of a freshman that just comes in and says, dominates. Just like, and plays situational maybe earlier in the year, and then by the end of the season is dominating. Powell-Lee did that, but wouldn't it be fun to have a kid from Alatoona, to be able to, a kid from Atlanta area to be able to come in and just freshman year, just make some strides on the pass rush, and we just haven't seen that. Who's the last elite? Oh gosh, I used the word.
I'll tell you. Elite. You mean high level kid?
High level. Who's the last high level elite?
Michael Johnson, Derek Morgan were some kids that are pretty dominant on the defensive line. Roman Reigns, suplexing folks. I think he was what's his name really?
What
Joe
was it?
Adonai.
Jeremiah. I'm going to butcher his last name. Attachou.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
That's close, I think. Yeah.
What is his name? Jeremiah Atucha?
I don't know what
I'm
you're
about to
talking
look this
about. I'm just shaking my head. I don't know.
This kid right here, he's 29. He was drafted in the second round of the 2014 NFL draft from Tech. I don't know how I can put this in here, but please, let's see. Click that. I just put that in the private chat.
There you go, Cdogg. You can cover my face up with it.
Gotcha.
People will probably thank you.
You're asking how to.
It's literally. I just don't know how to say his name, but he's a guy that.
Oh yeah, he's an international player. I believe we got. Was real serious in academics. Ended up being really good.
But you look at him in the NFL. He had a 6-sack season with the Chargers in 2015. But when's the last guy that we've seen who just came in and just from start to finish was just dominant?
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. I think Ezra could be a guy that if he develops, that's kind of my freak of the class.
Okay.
I'll get canceled later. Don't worry.
I don't think so. I would say Keon White. I'd say he's a freak.
Oh my gosh. Don't you wish we had him one more year?
Dude, I know, man. Man, so much.
And we ripped him from Alabama, wanted him. LSU was trying to get him, I believe, and we were able to get him to the flats.
Yeah, that is sad. Yeah, a couple we wish we could get back there.
Bryce, would you say I'm like the Keon White of YouTube? Would you say that?
I don't know. I've never seen your full stature, so I don't know.
I'm about 6'7".
No, you're not.
No, I'm 6 foot even.
Okay. I'm 5'10", so I would say I'm more of the. I would even say I'm David Curry. I don't know who I am.
I was about to say, I don't know, man. Me and Rectalk got
I'm
together.
the Jude Kelly.
The Jude Kelly?
Okay.
I don't know.
Someone called me the Carrot Top of Georgia Tech YouTubers. I don't know how to take that. But
I'm not even sure what that's supposed to mean.
I don't either. I didn't sleep last night thinking about it, but
somebody called me the Georgia Tech of YouTubers.
Who did that? Who said that?
I'll kill him.
Jesus, dude. that was very.
I thought I was
going
to get canceled because I said freak, and Cdogg saying he's going to kill somebody. So I think we're all right.
Yeah, I'm going to physically assault you, sir. Yeah.
For anyone that might watch my shows, I'm going to move this to tomorrow. I think. I don't know. We'll see.
I guarantee you, everybody in here watches your shows, Bryce. This is
yes.
This
I
is
watch every one.
I appreciate.
I do too.
I just appreciate that. Can I make an announcement on
you
here?
want to say to me, Bryce? Sorry,
go ahead.
This is actually I'm actually serious here. So this is actually a breaking news announcement.
Okay.
As of tomorrow, I will no longer. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'll no longer be covering Georgia Tech for 24/7 Sports.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Where are you going?
Rivals?
God, no. No, I just wanted to throw that out here. And I'm dead serious, both of you. I just, that is a true fact.
Wow.
That is real. And I just said on your show. So we'll see what happens in the comments section. But tomorrow, as of tomorrow will be my last day. Now, I'm still going to be doing the tech show on the Crowded Booth and everything. But just going to be doing some different stuff. So taking a step back from the 24/7 thing and with tech. And I'm enjoying the content creation of the Crowded Booth. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
Take the shirt off.
Okay.
Let's go. Oh, my AirPod fell out. I'm taking my clothes off live on stream. There we go.
Oh,
Hey,
nice.
I love
Hey,
it. I love
you
it.
need some hats too for whatever you're doing next to put on.
I'm going to do a live commitment ceremony on Cdogg's channel.
But do it like these kids do, like it's the end of season 6 of Walking Dead, where they keep trying to fake you out with the hat.
Yeah. Did you guys see what the kid did with what was it, Haynes? Yeah, was it Haynes that picked up the tech hat and threw it away today?
I didn't watch them all. Yeah,
you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
I also love how no one has sent me a DM or comment or anything because they're all watching the basketball team get clapped right now.
Oh man,
we don't need to talk about that.
That's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch the basketball team or anything like that. I don't know if that makes me a bad fan, but it's not tech. No. It's basketball in general. I don't know. I'm not a huge.
Well,
basketball
it's
fan.
kind of like soccer. You know, a lot of flopping about, but
yeah, so.
Not a huge.
Right,
well,
so what else we want?
That's crazy news, Bryce. I mean,
yeah.
Good luck in your, moving forward.
Are you about to future endeavor me?
Good luck in your.
Good luck in your future endeavors.
Is there anyone you would like to thank? Or.
Yeah, I want to thank my boy Georgia Panther Rod McKenzie, a 24/7 Sports. Rod, if you've ever met Rod McKenzie, first off, you've been blessed. Yeah. Rod's an awesome guy. He's hilarious. The amount of times that I have driven Rod around Atlanta, taking him home because he doesn't drive, and taking him through the cookout. Okay, seriously, the amount of times I've taken him from a press conference to cookout and then back to his house in Alpharetta is too many times to count.
That's awesome.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot
great.
of fun.
Well,
yeah.
Wow. That's pretty exciting news. If you ever want to do your commitment ceremony or any dumb content that is silly and just ridiculous, the Cdogg channel is the perfect.
I do have a transfer portal graphic, so
yeah.
Someone made me a transfer portal graphic, which was hilarious.
Awesome. That is awesome.
But look, no tears. We're still going to continue the content creation. It's just I'm not doing another 24/7 Sports umbrella for Georgia Tech anymore.
Okay, good.
After tomorrow.
Good.
So.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well,
Cool.
I know that we're all going to respect your decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please respect my decision.
Yeah, we're going to respect your decision.
Now you can go talk about how I quit on the team.
Well, this is great. Well, is there anything else? Yeah. Anything maybe we want to say to the Haynes King haters? I've been getting a lot of Haynes King hate. Saying that he's garbage and he's not going to be any good.
Well, people have these binary opinions of people. Like they're
either
either
binary, and I didn't understand what that meant.
I did say binary. They have a black and white opinion of a kid. He's either garbage or he's Heisman.
Yeah.
And there's lots of things in between that he can be. Maybe he's just a kid that hasn't lived up to his potential, that Winky and Faulkner can work with to be a better quarterback. Who knows?
I've been saying this. Texas A&M is chock full of kids that haven't lived up to their potential, their star rating, and stuff like that. And maybe it's a little more obvious because it's at the quarterback position, but that doesn't mean you throw the whole kid away.
That is true.
I think that's because they know Tech's about to dominate, and they're trying to hate.
Scared.
Hate is gonna hate.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I think that
we're gonna dominate.
I hope so. No matter where life takes me. And no, I'm not following Jeff Sims to Nebraska, as a commenter just asked. I think that in all seriousness, the ceiling for Tech, and also the algorithm is going to be completely messed up on this video because you're not going to be able to put any keywords because we talked about 75 different terms.
It is what it is.
The ceiling for Tech is this is a program that should be able to contend for an ACC title.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, if we're all realistic, if we're really realistic, this is not a program, in my opinion, that will be a consistent contender for a national championship every year. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Could they do it in a one-off year? Maybe. But there are maybe 5 programs that are built to do that year in, year out.
Mm-hmm.
And do I think Tech can get there? I don't know. I would just have to see a lot of things that I've never saw from Georgia Tech.
That's what I'm thinking
from a support standpoint to happen.
Right.
So I don't want. So let me change it. I don't say it's never going to happen. We would just have to see commitment and all this stuff that we've never seen from the athletic program. I put out a tweet about a month ago of where we would have to see something that Tech has never seen before. People were like, well, you weren't alive in 19. I was like, yeah, but, also in 1970, you were getting gas for $1.12, and you got a pack of gum for a nickel. I mean, it's so different now. It's just not the same way anymore. So in today's day and age of college football, I don't think it's ever been harder to reach that point.
That was something that I was curious about too. Is what you think about are we headed in the right direction? Are we headed in the wrong direction, or are we staying the same? As far as because Angel Cabrera, the president, and everything, and they talk about this stuff. What do you think? Is it real? Have we seen any increased? I know the competitive drive and whatnot with J-Bad. What do you think? Are we headed slightly in the right direction? Are we headed straight up? What do you think?
I need to see proof. And I think I don't know how you guys, and this would be awesome. I'm completely okay with disagreeing. I think that's what makes sports content so much fun, is that not Stephen A. Smith style stuff, but just healthy debate. I like that.
Hold up, Bryce. Let me tell you something.
Listen here. You can't tell if you're in a black church or what you're at that point. So it's one of those things. He's intense. Hopefully I don't get canceled for that. So anyways, I've already announced my resignation, so it's okay. No worries.
Yeah. You did that in the right order, Bryce.
I did. I'm glad. I'm glad. I forgot what I was going to say. What was I talking about?
About how Tech's going to win a natty.
Yeah. And you're saying what?
Oh,
disagreement. I'm just not quite qualified. I don't think, or in the know enough to know this kind of stuff. So I figured you'd probably be better to ask about it. You know what I mean?
So this just stood out to me. Now, I've been covering Tech, been around Georgia Tech for the past 4 or 5 years. So, yes, I'll admit that I had not followed the history of the program as well, but I did grow up in the state, was well acquainted with what they did, but just wasn't an avid fan. My thing is that having seen other programs, covered some other programs, Brent Key donating the rest of the money to get to the mark was weird to me.
I heard you say that, and now
it was weird.
My question is, I agree that it is weird, but how,
I think it was a PR stunt. I'll just say that. I think it was a PR thing.
Right.
It looks good. I don't think that they're in trouble. I just think it was a weird. It just felt like a weird PR move.
Yeah.
When they said it in the press conference and we were sitting there, then it was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yes, that's okay. Yeah, it was just kind of weird. Why? I've never seen anything like that before, and so I think Cdogg, and I'll let you say what you're going to say. I think it was a PR move to make it look good, but there's going to be some people out there that say, the naysayers of Tech, Georgia fans will say, "Wow, y'all didn't have enough money that your head coach had to give part of his money back to the program." Like that's going to be. I'm just devil's advocate of what the haters. That's what they're going to say.
Right.
Even if it wasn't that.
Yeah, I was curious because I remember you saying that. I remember it. Well, when I first heard it, I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." You know, he loves the school, and that's great.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
But then you were saying how you thought it was weird, and I hadn't really thought about that. But then my question was, how much did he actually donate? Was it a couple $100? Was it a few thousand?
Yeah. Was it 150 grand?
Yeah. I mean, what? Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
If I look like I'm typing, I'm going to go back into the press release and see if what was it called? The initiative? What is this thing called
competitive
again?
drive?
Competitive. Okay, so let's see here.
It's probably not anything like that we would be able to figure out, I don't think. But yeah.
Could we do some algebra? Do we know how much it was before?
Right.
I can solve for X.
Right. Is this the thing where, we would have hit it anyway, and he noticed it was getting towards the end, so it was maybe a symbolic kind of thing? That was what I was curious about.
Sorry, I look like I'm really struggling, but I'm reading here.
Good.
No, that's good. Well,
so this is what it says, right? Sorry. It says right here. It says, as announced by Georgia Tech President Angel Cabrera, Angel Cabrera, during Monday's press conference. So this was when Key was announced. The initial $2.5 million fundraising goal was reached with a gift from Key and his wife, Danielle. So it does not say the dollar amount, and you may never figure that out. So you're completely 110% right. But as you know, people love to point at things and laugh at them, and that will be something that I think people will try to laugh at and say, wow, you're head coach. I just thought it was weird because I had never heard of it before. Not that there's anything inherently wrong with it. It was definitely a PR thing. Like if we're talking about $100, like they were like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to try to do that math. They were $2.49 million away, and he did that. Right. I was a communications major. I'm not trying to do all that kind of math. So
yeah, that's fair.
No.
Yeah. So it was just kind of weird.
That was my question.
I think that gets at the heart of a lot of the criticism, because here's the criticism I hear a lot. Tech just doesn't care about football. If they cared about football, then they wouldn't have these financial issues that it appears they have. And here's my thing. I mean, you look at the top programs in the country that are recruiting in the top 5, and they're finishing in the top 5 every year. These are programs with $100 million revenues. All right. Now, 95 or to 98% of the programs in the country don't do that. Does that mean that the vast majority of the country doesn't care about football, or their school doesn't? I don't think that's the case.
Yeah. Cdogg, you go ahead if you want to on this.
Huh? No, I wasn't going to say anything.
I thought you said I wasn't listening to him. That's what I thought he was going to say to you.
No. Well, yeah, I'll check that out. Nah,
that's a great point, though.
I'm locked in, man.
No, that's a great point. I mean, to suggest, I'll say this, because I've been critical. So critical, in fact, that I've gotten a call from administration saying to calm down.
Right.
I don't know if you guys were around for that.
Yeah, no, I remember.
I didn't.
No, that's
it was wild.
What happened? So you got a call?
Okay, so the most viewed video I have on my channel, once again, small channel, like we're growing with stuff, was entitled "The Brutal Reality of Georgia Tech Football," and it was just real. Like it was, and seriously, I did no prep for it. It was really just a kind of an emotional, like this is where it's at. Like people don't care to talk about Georgia Tech outside of the sphere of us three, unless it's in a joking or a malicious manner. They don't care. It's the butt of the joke, and we need to be real about it. And the administration really needs to realize the change has to come. So all of that to say is, I've been critical of where are they serious about football. They need to decide if they are. What does that look like, though? And I'll tell you this, first and foremost, even though I'm a credentialed media member, I don't know the financial situation. I know that they're not flush with cash. I know that, I would say this, the fan base there is a small Tech fan base, in my opinion, compared to other schools, in the Southeast.
Objectively true.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think if you looked at if you compared Tech with like Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, other SC, Auburn, like it's a smaller fan base, but they're very devout. Like they are big. They love Georgia Tech. But I think you have to have buy-in from the fans. Like it's the chicken and egg thing, so it's more of if if they win, will come, but you also need the support too. Like, I know there were a couple games this year where, like, the Duke game was a great example.
The Duke game
like,
was
Cdogg, I know
amazing.
it was amazing, and the students were phenomenal.
Yes.
But like, Tech's got to get creative with some stuff like that. What is it? Is it the north end zone where the students are?
That
like
that
the big student
is
section.
terrible. The bleachers.
The north end zone's the one that goes way up.
Get rid of that.
Yeah.
You can't see anything. You can't. I mean, it's awful. And like, understand where you are. Like, I don't know. All that to say is I think it's a little bit ridiculous to say Tech's not serious about football, but I think it's also a valid argument to say they're not as devoted to it.
Yeah.
Devoted's not the right word. They're not as all in on the sport of football as like a Georgia is or as a Alabama is. But we're starting to see those programs, guys, get really good at other sports. Like Alabama and Auburn are really good at basketball. Really good at basketball. Alabama's really good at a lot of different things. LSU is another program that's really good at a lot of sports. You know, how does Tech manufacture that? And outside of football, like, they're solid in some other things, like especially the women's sports. Like I just want to say that, like, softball had an unbelievable year this past year. Women's basketball, Nell Fortner is a heck of a basketball coach. Like, absolutely love Nell Fortner and what she does. But all that to say is, I don't know. I think it's just a lazy argument to say, well, Tech doesn't care about football.
Well, and to kind of come full circle back to recruiting, I'll tell you this. And I was telling Cdogg, I called Uncle Lou one day about this issue. Because at Tech, the easiest major requires Calculus 1, and that is going to limit the type of kids that you can recruit. Okay, they're going to have to be academically squared away. Mm-hmm. So I think unless Tech were to create, and Key was kind of alluding to this in his introductory press conference.
He did.
If Tech wanted to recruit in the top 5 or top 10 consistently, you would have to have a program that caters to, like, non-engineering.
You'd have to have a
type
general
things.
Studies. Like, you'd have to have general studies.
I don't want to get canceled, but you'd need certain majors that were almost done away with at Auburn that they fought to keep. I'll put it that
Underwater basket.
Basket weaving, yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. This: have you seen what Colorado has done? Like, their president has pledged to say, look, we're going to make it easier to get in and easier to have
on their transfers, I believe,
and transfers. Yes. Yeah, because supposedly it's really hard to transfer into Colorado. I don't know. I'm not sure the academics, but, like, you know, my thing is like, you're exactly right. There is a ceiling. Whether people want to believe it or not, there is a ceiling where Tech can recruit no matter who the head coach is, unless academics and administration get involved. They will never be number 5 in the recruiting rankings every single year unless things change.
Right.
Yeah. Now, could they have 1 year where they're in 10 years where they're number 7? Sure, they could do that. But consistently great. Things have to change, and so I think that is where it stems from. Is they're not serious about football because they're not willing to make general studies majors.
Right. Yeah, and it's go ahead.
I was going to say that was one of the concerns Deion Sanders had when we were kind of searching for a coach. Didn't he get an interview, and he was worried about not being able to get his guys in here?
One thing I was told is that when Collins was let go, money folks went down and talked. They went to Jackson and talked to Deion, and he was all about, and see, I don't think the fans listen to this. He was all about Atlanta. Like, yes, it would have been unbelievable to have him in Atlanta. But we're just saying a lot of cancelable. That's not a word, I think.
You're close. Yeah.
Georgia Tech really isn't Atlanta. Like, I think we also have to kind of realize that the culture of Atlanta is not really Georgia Tech.
Ouch.
Like,
Bryce.
it's one of those things that is just, I'm telling you, like, it's just different. It's just, when you get on Texas, I love everything about Georgia Tech. I love the campus. I love these different things. But it's not, like, okay, if we're just completely honest, and Rec, I am so glad that I put in my public resignation as we start talking here tonight.
Yeah, I dragged this out of people.
This is great. I'm going to need
we'll
this video
strip any professionalism you might
That's
have.
fine.
We're taking it away on the Cdogg channel. That's how it goes.
I like it. Deion is going to tap into cultural icons wherever he goes.
Yes.
Now, I don't know what that looks like in Boulder, Colorado. I don't know. But you could think of some people in Atlanta, musicians, local musicians, and I mean people like, rappers that would come. And a lot of people don't talk about this, but Collins was doing that a little bit early on. No one liked it.
I was going to say I loved what Collins was doing because we're in the city.
It's just a loss, yeah.
But we're not in the city. You know what I mean?
So it's one of those things. They're not in the city, so I don't know how willing people would be to see the button-up Georgia Tech maybe unbutton a button or two. Like I don't think that they were quite ready for that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not going to strip again.
Well, yeah, we got Bryce on here unbuttoning a couple, so I don't know. Maybe they need to send us in there. We'll freaking make it happen. Because I would love to see rappers on the sideline. I mean, that's what it's all about is the ATL. That's what I loved about Jeff Collins, and the only problem was he wasn't able to do it on the field, like.
Yeah. Well, now I think people are less apt to buy into that, and I do think that their
feelings are hurt. Yeah. They're hurt by
See, I told you, that wouldn't work, and it didn't. But and look, I'm a tech guy through and through. I went to school there. Part of the thing that I think is really neat, like at halftime on one of the games, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, they had a tech grad on the ISS. Like simulcast in when they announce the cheerleaders are like biomedical engineering majors. That's probably, but I've got to realize that's something that probably not many college football fans too much care about either. So, we might have to look into kind of how we want to shape things from there on too. And I do think it's probably moving toward and it doesn't have to be a cupcake major thing. Like if we just had a literature program or something would be better.
Yes.
Look, when I was at Tech, teachers didn't even have their names on the doors because they don't want to see you. Georgia Tech's a research institution. Those teachers are there to do research, and teaching is a nuisance that they have to put up with. Okay. I had TAs that didn't even show up to their own hours because they were trying to pass classes. So it is a tough place to qualify. And the other thing is with the transfers we talked about with Colorado, when I transferred to Tech, they only look at my math and science GPA, and I needed a 3.7. Now I don't know what it's like for the players. I would think I'm sure it's the NCAA standard, but I don't know if they look at their collective grades or just their math and science either.
And have you heard the word what is it? The Board of Regents or whatever, the Board of Scholastic, whatever. That would, if we were to try to get if we were to try to remove some of those classes, the hard lower the curriculum or whatever, it would have to go through the board. Have you heard of this? But it's all UGA
wild.
Grads.
Okay, so that is so that is not all the way true. That it's all UGA grads.
It sounded true.
It's close to being true.
Okay.
It's the Georgia Board. Okay, so it's the Georgia Board of Regents, which someone thought I was saying they had to go to like Athens to go get approved. That's not what it is. It is a Board of Regents. People just happen to be mostly UGA grads.
Right.
But like when I was talking about oh my gosh, Jesus.
You good, dog?
That's like my professionalism right there collapsing. No, but all to say is that when I put in our Discord that I can't remember who it was. I guess it was Key that we lost our guy there, but that's okay.
I think he cut it off so he could
set up again.
Yeah.
Anyways, when the financial amount had to be approved for Key, when that was done, they take it to the Board of Regents. Well, I think I remember putting in the Discord, like, has to go to the Georgia Board of Regents. And so someone read that and said, well, I don't want Georgia fans determining what we do. And I was like, wait, what did you think I said? And they said, well, you have to go to they private messaged me on Discord. And they were like, well, I don't think that, why should we have to go to Athens and get something approved? I was like, I don't think you understand what the Georgia Board of Regents. Now, a lot of those do happen to be Georgia grads, but it's not like they're going into a UGA academic building or administration building to get something approved. That's Alabama and UAB. So, anyways, let's keep going with that.
Really? You think that they would? You think they would? You think there's some kind of motive for them to keep us from handing out easier classes? You think that's?
I think, and I've said this to Georgia fans should want Georgia Tech to be better. I've said this multiple times. I think that that game for Georgia fans has become, and I have a lot of Georgia fans in my family, has become like where you sleep off your food that you ate on Thursday until you get to the Iron Bowl.
Right.
And that's really what it is. And I think that you should want that game. It has. And look, Rick, I'm good at hurting people. I'm really good at it. That's a good. I mean, you come DM me on Instagram if you disagree, because or just want to just yell at me.
I don't.
Well, I respect you because you tell it.
So Georgia fans just feel like that. It's like, what's the point? Like, there's conversations happening on message boards right now that say, should we drop this game? Yeah. Like, does it hurt us more than it helps us? Yeah. So Georgia fans should want, and I think a majority of them, like, I received a lot of people saying, like, for Georgia fans and guys that cover Georgia, are like pleasantly surprised at this past year's game. Yeah. They're like, okay, like they still won handedly. They felt like they're like we still won handedly, but not for a while. Like for a while, it was a really good game. And I think that if Tech narrows that gap in the next 10 years even more, to where, you don't have to go win 9 out of the next 10. That'd be awesome. But if you could just win 3, 4, get close to half. That'd be really good for the health of that rivalry, especially as we transition into what I think is going to happen in these super schedules.
Yeah. I mean, what's promising to me is, we were hanging in there with two third and fourth string quarterback, and I mean so that's a good sign to me. Just kind of the night and day difference between, and whenever Brent Key took over, it was what I've been saying. Like, we don't have a bad roster. We can be good. We can be respectable and competitive now.
It's hard to go 3-9.
Yeah,
a lot of things have to happen for you to go 3-9,
right.
And you have to do some things really badly, like have 4 block punts in 3 games. You have to do things like that.
I think the national average is every other year.
That is another question I had. Is
special teams?
Is Coach Boogie staying the special teams coordinator?
I don't know. I think that was more of a interim fix. Like, that's one of those things. I had some people commenting on stuff and being like, well, why does this not look so much better? Like, David, it's because in the week of practice, like, you can't devote a full day to special teams. Like,
right.
You just can't do that. That's stuff that's worked on in the summer and fall camp. Then you maybe tweak some things, and that's what they did. And it was better. Whether you think it was or not, it was better.
Yeah.
They still had some deficiencies. But, Coach Boogie is obviously Coach Seymour. For those who don't know, he's a guy that took over. I also know that Faulkner is a guy that has worked a little bit with special teams in his past. And I'm talking about way kind of back, when he was doing some stuff. So I don't know. It all depends. I think it's 10 on the field coaches you get. I think so. And then everyone else has to be like an analyst or something else.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to monitor. Because, look, we're still looking for a wide receivers coach.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I know I was talking with Bryce Dobson, who I encourage. Y'all should try to get him on your show. Like, he's great. Great kid.
Will he come
like,
on?
He might do
think
it.
so?
Would he do it?
I don't know.
I want
Chase.
Chase.
He came on mine.
Yeah, if I could get
Chase.
Lane.
I will say this: Chase Lane. I think I called him at the perfect time.
Yeah.
Because he is not, like, I've texted him a couple times and he hasn't answered over the past 24 hours, which, like, also he's probably super busy too, anyways. Yeah. But Dobson was telling me that they were pretty much told to trust the fact that they're going to have a wide receivers coach, which that makes me nervous. Like, that's a weird thing to say. And I said, because I said, hey, is there any lead? Like, did they tell you? He said they haven't told him.
It's just going to be somebody will be hired.
It's going to be somebody. And whether it's, Faulkner knows somebody from his stops elsewhere where, Key has a guy. But, it's just, I don't know. We don't hear a lot of conversations like that. So when you do, it's like, that's a little weird. Hey, just trust us. Like, no, which one of us 3, if you were going to take a new job, hey, just trust us. Like, you're going to have a boss. We just don't know who, but trust us.
Well, I'll tell you, in your career, if you're told that by your boss, that's a red flag, and you need to be getting on LinkedIn.
I was surprised the amount of receivers and everything we got to come over and everything. I guess they must have liked what Buster Faulkner had to say, because.
Well, I think Key too, and Key's conference today talked about, hey, wide receivers they don't just want to block. They want to stretch the field and be a vertical threat, and basically that's the kind of offense we want to be, or something to that effect. So maybe Key, that was a big part of Key.
Yeah.
Let's ask this, and then I'm going to hop off.
Okay.
If that's good with you. I got one more topic of conversation here. how do we feel about if Buster Faulkner coaches Georgia and helps Georgia in the Ohio State game?
That
And
disgusts
potentially
me.
a national championship.
That disgusts
I think Cdogg has a more stringent opinion than I do. I'm kind of neutral.
That
on
disgusts me. Good Lord. I mean, he works for us now. I'm sure there's plenty to do, okay, for us. I mean,
well, I think of it like in my career and in business, just why would I do something that doesn't benefit me with no upside to it? Like, I just don't really understand it from that point of view. Like, he could be doing things for us that, you know.
right. I mean, when does this happen? Like, we see in the coaching world,
It does
in
happen,
college
yeah.
football all the time. They just up and leave. And what it tells me is that this is even being entertained as Buster Faulkner's going to leave as soon as Tom Monken leaves. That's what it tells me. We're borrowing Buster Faulkner from Georgia until Tom Monken leaves. That's what it tells me. So,
I'll tell you this: there's a reason that there's been no official press release from Tech. Like, that's a tell sign, because we haven't. No one's like, there hasn't been Buster Faulkner. He's not on the staff, right? Like, page, to my knowledge. Now, you can check. Maybe he is, and maybe I'm completely wrong. But
He's recruited for us.
he's
right?
recruited. He's been featured in pictures. Like, everyone knows. So I go back last year because I was talking with, I don't know if y'all watch, but Palmer Toms, who covers Georgia for On3. Really, he and I are really good friends. People gave him crap on my live show last week. It was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was
Yeah.
dying laughing. Like, I was like sitting like this the whole time because I was laughing at the comments. Someone said he had soft lips, and I almost lost it. I was like, I don't even know what that means.
That was early on in the
that
show,
means.
too.
Yes. I like how you remember that. So, anyways, gosh. So, he and I were talking kind of off air about it, and I said, look, when Dan Lanning was hired by Oregon last year, like, what did that look like? So, the thing with that is it was announced, and he still coached.
He
And
did.
Was the head coach. He was the head coach. So, he wasn't a coordinator. He was the head coach. So, he went out and recruited. He took pictures with the kids, did all these things. So, it is something that happens.
But did they clarify that's exactly what was going on? I think the weirdness here is it's kind of in the ether, and no one.
Well, because Kirby Smart came out and talked about it. Remember, like because Kirby Smart's already sat there and said, "Well, it's up to Brent Key." So now, I don't think that was a dig. Like, I will say this: Key and Smart are tight. Like, they are. Yeah, they want to beat the crap out of each other when they play, but like they both respect each other. They played against each other at the same time, like stuff like that. So, but all that to say is, I think that the fact that when Smart came out and said it's up to Key and like pushed the ball in his court, I think that's what sent Tech fans spiraling a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
so Key doesn't care, and I think it's not that he doesn't care. It's just not the fact that this is a rivalry makes it weirder. Because like Georgia and Oregon, yeah, they were playing this past September, but like they're not going to play again for a while unless they meet in a bowl game. So all those things to say is I don't personally like. It's not a massive deal to me. Because once he gets through recruiting, there's no game plan for him to do. Like, he's still going to recruit. He's still going to do those things. And I'll ask you this, because I had a fan mention this to me that was like, I don't mind it because what if they win a national championship?
It's a fair point.
So I know that would be awful, whatever.
Yeah.
But now when he goes in recruiting trail, he gets to flash 2 championship rings. And also recent, the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And when he goes into a kid's home, let's say they're looking for that, that fourth quarterback in a portal, or they're looking for a guy that still hasn't signed in February, and he goes, "Hey, I've won 2 national championships with a guy that, wasn't even highly rated. Imagine what I could do with your kid." And so that's a recruiting pitch that I know people don't love to think about, but it's one of those things that we'll see. I don't know. Just another angle.
I think the counter that though is he already has one.
Yeah.
And he's been
true.
So what is another one really?
Yeah, the thought of Georgia winning another national championship disgusts me absolutely to my core. I don't think I hate anything worse than the University of Georgia, their players, their coaches, their fans. I think that
I admire
it's
that.
abhorrent that our OC would do that. And really, I mean, it is what it is. But I want them to lose. I've got an Ohio State hat sitting right there on the table. I'm going to be cheering for the Buckeyes, and I want them
Dude,
to
what
lose.
will you do if they lose in the first round?
Oh, I'd probably get a bucknut leaf tattooed on my rear end.
I'll do it with you.
I won't. And not because I used to be a Georgia fan when I was younger. Just I hate Eagles.
I'm committed.
Well,
man.
yeah,
Like,
it definitely rubs me the wrong way, and it shows like it's so obvious that Buster Faulkner is not. Such a temporary thing. He's going to leave for Georgia as soon as Todd Monken, takes a head coaching job somewhere.
not necessarily.
You don't think so? You don't think he's gonna? Because from what I heard, Buster Faulkner was the OC in waiting there at Georgia, was he not?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
supposedly-
the prevailing sentiment.
So he'll be gone just as soon as Todd Monken gets hired away.
But this is a serious thing too, and I was talking about Palmer. He's like, I don't think that Todd Monken wants to leave.
Really?
Todd Monken has been a head coach. He's done it before.
Yeah.
Y'all, he's the highest paid assistant coach in college football.
Almost $2 million, something like that.
Yeah, like 1.9, something like that. Yeah. Why would he want to leave? You know, and take on the stress at his age of leading a program. He's an older guy. I mean, he's got the cushiest job in the country. You know what I mean? With a plethora of weapons. So, that's why I never really thought that Purdue was going to go get him, because that's a program where you had to be really hands-on and more for a younger, energetic guy. Unless it was just like USC, like Lincoln Riley retired or something, or something crazy like Alabama, then maybe. But I just don't see him leaving for like a group of 5. Or I don't see him going back the head coaching route unless it's a no-doubter. So I think Buster Faulkner's safe, personally.
Love my Jackets fans in the comments agreeing with me on that. Yeah, I mean it's easy. I just
I see.
Well, it
Jake
doesn't
Raymond
feel
around
great.
here, so I'm glad to see it.
Yeah, so I think I'll be all right if he can just flash the one national championship ring. I think I'll be all right with that.
I agree.
There's a good question in the chat, Bryce. There's been talk in your Discord too about Gilbert transferring from UGA, which I've said some dumb things about, and you corrected me. But what is there any chance that? Do you have any read on that?
Talking once again with Palmer about him and just some people around the program and people who knew him when he was at Marietta, I believe that's where he went to high school. When he went down to LSU, remember that was the last year of Orgeron, or the second to last year.
Yeah.
And really after that national title, it came unhinged. Like, I don't know if you've read an article that The Athletic did on that. Just like, it became wild in Baton Rouge. Like, it was just unhinged.
Well, Orgeron personally had some issues.
It just got weird. So for an 18-year-old to be that far from home, I know that he underwent some serious mental health issues when he was down there. When he transferred back to Georgia, the hope was he's closer to home. And I know that from a programming standpoint, and I don't want to use the word rehab because it's not – rehab insinuates that there's like alcohol or drug abuse.
He got
and
help.
That wasn't the case. He got help. And, last year he didn't play at all in 2021. And then this past year, I think, look, they have a stacked tight end room. I think that part of the reason that, he wasn't seeing the field and he felt like he was doing better. But he's also battling a lot of mental health. So it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, the kid is unbelievably talented. But there's just there's just some things going on. And it's not, I know I saw some people, it might have been you. I don't remember.
It was me, I think. I thought it was a work ethic thing from what Kirby was saying.
And so I know that Kirby has been really careful in how he has talked about Gilbert, because there's been a lot of media questions about him. And I think people around the country have kind of tuned in, like, what's going on with this kid? But I know that's mental health, and it's really sad to see a kid that much talented, because then you start, I don't even care about the talent anymore. Like, I just want to make sure the kid's okay.
Yeah.
And,
for sure.
I think that if there is a program that he could come back to, maybe it'd have to be somewhere local. Like, it'd have to be a Tech. I just don't see him being able to go off from home with the current state he's in. And it wouldn't surprise me, truthfully, if he doesn't land anywhere and he just goes home and figures something out. Because I think I put in the Discord, like, he's not a harm to himself, that's a blessing. Like, that's great. Like, we don't want him to be a harm to himself. But I just don't think that he's capable right now of undergoing the stress of what a student athlete goes, which, all us three and fans, we love to sit here and comment on social media and think it's easy. It's not. It's not at all.
No.
It's a lot
Yeah,
of
put him
pressure.
through calculus. I'm sure that'll help. Yeah.
And
just
to
a
also
full
have-
school
go ahead.
load.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a
Yes.
full school load. And, I mean, they probably put, 80 hours in a week between practice and
doubt.
their school load? I mean,
Yeah.
who does that that's watching this show works 80 hours a week? Probably not many.
Yeah. But while we were on the subject, I wanted to ask about the tight end room, because that is something at Georgia Tech that's been just absolutely terrible the past few years. I mean, we have Dylan Leonard, who's like kind of okay, but that's about like the best we got. Is that a chicken or the egg situation? Do we have to get, I don't know. We brought in Luke Benson last year. That was a complete bust. Then we bring in this guy from USF, and that just, I don't
Jackson
know,
Long
doesn't get me excited either. So I don't know what's going on, man. It's like we keep trying to throw to the tight end and they drop it, or I don't know. I've seen
miss a block.
I've completely seen Luke Benson go in and miss blocks and drop passes, and he literally hurt the team more than if we had not even played him at all. So
Tried to block.
I'm not trying to dunk on him or anything, but I mean, tight end has been just a complete disaster. I know we're building it from the ground up, but
and it's where I would have liked to see E.J. Jenkins play.
Right.
Honestly,
that's what I was saying all year. Like, why is E.J. Jenkins not tight end? We have P.J. Harris. We have.
Yeah, I don't get that. I think that was misused. I mean, E.J. Jenkins would have been unreal as a tight end.
Yeah.
He didn't have the speed to play outside the receiver. It was bizarre. Outside of even in the Clemson game, I think they lined him up inside for that touchdown catch.
Yeah.
He ran like a drag.
Yeah.
He's great in the red
the corner
zone.
of the end zone. So all that to say is, like, I mean, Luke Benson, Dylan Leonard can come back. I don't know. I don't know if he will. Like, I don't know. Jackson Long, like, the kid played 22 snaps, and look, for a program that in the past 2 years has, not this past year really, but in previous years has suffered from what I call daddy ball, where we like to bring in tech men and play their kids.
Yeah.
For the fact that Chris Winkie played with his dad and was brought in, I don't think he's a high impact piece.
Yeah.
Especially day one, because this kid only played 22 college snaps.
Yeah.
Why are we expecting him to? Remember, this is what we talked about. You have to have realistic expectations. Could he do it? Yeah, but not everyone's Brock Bowers or the tight end from Notre Dame. That's not. They don't do that. So that's a position of need.
Players.
Yeah, and I don't think Jackson Long's that player, and that's okay because there's a bunch of tight ends that are not those guys. So that's a position of concern for me.
Yeah.
If P.J. Harris comes back, like, Harris could be a weapon, but you got to find someone that can catch the football, because we always say for a young quarterback, the tight end is a security blanket. He's the guy that he can dump it off to, him and the running back when things don't pan out, but. We'll see. I mean, I could say that, and Jackson Long could be the lead the country in receiving yards for tight ends next year. So,
which
would be great.
We'd love to be wrong.
I would love to be
Here's
wrong.
hoping.
But it might be where we just tailor offense. Like, look, if we don't have a bunch of strength at tight end, and it looks like we've got a lot of talent coming in at wide receiver, we need to run more 4 wide receiver sets or whatever and tailor it to that.
And, someone asked me, Sean Taylor, who's in our Discord and Twitter group and watches a lot of the content that Tech has on YouTube, he said, he's worried about it because, Faulkner's used to that. What happens to Tech? Do we have another Patino situation where we try to, like, fit the square peg into the round hole of the offense? I don't think so. Like, I don't think that happens again. I think Faulkner's completely aware that Tech doesn't have a Brock Bowers, Darnell Washington on the roster. And like what you just said, like, we'll run 4 wide receiver sets. I mean, which you're going to have a lot of weapons to go to.
And to compare him to Pat Node, I mean, someone got tickled because I called him Jeff Collins light. But what did you think about Pat Node? Because it was kind of bizarre, like, his whole time here to me.
It's just
he was like a promoter.
Fit. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. I just never felt like it was. I mean, look, whoever was going to come in as the OC was going to struggle. Like, that was always going to be there.
Yeah.
But it just never felt like anything made sense. Like, it wasn't your typical, I wish our offensive coordinator was better. Like, there were some deficiencies, and I even saw some people saying this past year they wish they would have had Patino instead of Chip Long at times.
That's not smart to say.
Jeez.
We love recency. We just love to spout things off.
Yeah.
That's what people like to say. So, I don't know. It's
yeah.
It's
No, I think we're all right with Faulkner. I mean, if your biggest criticism of Buster is that he's going to leave to go to one of the best programs in the country, like, it probably made a pretty good hire, right? Like, he's a talented play caller, I think.
I suppose.
Yeah. I got to shout out another person real quick there, Cdogg. He said he entirely agrees with you, and he says, to hell with Georgia. That's Hayden Murphy, who played football at Berry College, and we lived in the same dorm.
All right.
So see if he has any eligibility left.
Yeah.
He played tight end, if I'm not wrong.
Oh,
so
perfect.
Hayden, if you've got any eligibility left.
Yeah. We need some depth, man. We need some
any semblance of catching
we
ability.
need to get that.
You'll start immediately.
Position off the ground. We need to get out of the bottom of the barrel, man. Come on. But I just put both of you guys channel links in the live chat in case anybody hasn't subscribed to these two fellas. Hit the thumbs up for us on the stream. The big three right here. Of Georgia
we need a nickname like they had the Fab Five at Michigan. We need something for the three of us.
I've been saying the big three.
That's
the big three.
Big three of Georgia
What
Tech.
was the Rec? I know you'll probably remember this, and this is not me calling you old. You are just wiser than Cdogg and I.
Tell me what else is great about me.
Well, I don't even know how old you are.
I'm 32.
I'm not even sure what your real name is. I've been calling you Rec the whole time.
Rick talk.
I don't know what Cdogg's name is, and I like to keep it that way because I don't want to accidentally say his name on a live stream.
I'm Cdogg. That's my legal name.
I'm just throwing my full name out here.
Yeah.
Losing professionalism as we go with my full name. At least I don't have a pseudo name.
Right.
You just need a VPN, that's all.
Right.
Okay. Anyways, what was the Lethal Weapon 3? The three dynamic players for the basketball team back in 91?
Yeah.
For Tech's basketball team.
I don't know anything about that at all, but yeah.
You got to watch the documentary.
That
it's
was
great.
years before I was born, but okay.
I was
Lethal
one.
Weapon 3.
Or we could be the big three for GT.
The big three for GT. I love it.
That.
Get T-shirts made.
This is
just off the top of my head, guys. I'll be here.
Yeah. This is a big time. This is a big time collaboration here. I know a lot of people were excited. Excited for this collab. It finally happened, and the turnout for this stream was really great, you guys. So we super appreciate that. I put both.
Someone said the triple option.
The triple option.
That's it.
The triple option.
I'm gonna pitch it to Bryce real quick.
I like it.
The triple option.
The DN came down. I'm pitching to Bryce.
So am I an A back or a B back? What is that? Which one am I?
I don't know. I mean, are you a 4.6 guy or are you a 4.5 flat? What are you?
We're talking about a 10-yard dash, right? In that.
Well, I ran a 4.35, as I've said, 40-yard dash a few weeks ago.
Oh wow.
Me and Calvin raced.
Yeah.
And,
can we have since we're now called the triple option, can we have a triple option combine where we invite Tech fans out to a place?
Yes, like the Tech Slob.
The Tech Slob Olympics. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
We do have something like that, Bryce. In the college football community, the greater college, not just Georgia Tech fans, but fans of all teams. We do have an event called the Slob Olympics where we get together every year. It's all college football YouTubers like me, idiot fans that scream into their phones and everything like that, make videos. We all get together, compete in the 40-yard dash, push-ups. We did an IQ test, rock, paper, scissors tournament, and we compete every year for that. It really is great. So
I haven't been. I've already started training.
yeah, we got to get you to the freaking next Slob Olympics. It'll be great.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, this has been eventful, guys.
It has.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of fun.
It really has.
This has been a lot of
Yes.
fun.
I laughed a lot, more than I have in a while.
So the triple.
I haven't
option.
smiled this much in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. It's time. It's great every once in a while to be able to cut loose. You know what I mean? Come on the Cdogg channel.
Yeah, and just quit your job live on stream. I mean, that's awesome.
I'm outie. Tell these people something they don't know about me.
That is amazing. Well,
I like it.
thank you both very much for coming on here. We're gonna go ahead and end the stream. Thank you to everybody in the comment section. This has been an absolute blast. So hopefully, we can get together in the future. Maybe do like a season preview or sometime in the spring or something like that. Just throwing the ideas out there, but this is definitely something that we'll have to do in the future. And
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yeah, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And the most wonderful time of the year. And Happy New Year's to everybody.
So, by the way, it's official. Every time the three of us are on the Georgia Tech Live Show, it is the Georgia Tech Live Show featuring the triple option.
The triple option. Love it. And
put that on Facebook, and I'm sure the viewership will go up.
Oh, they'll probably think we're like wanting to bring it back, and we'll have like a ton of viewers for one show.
Bring it back. Yeah.
And then they'll watch me take my clothes off and turn it off immediately. So
I love it.
There we go.
So, as for everybody, thank you so much for watching. Go Jackets, and we'll freaking see you next time.
See you later.